Okay, let's jump into JanPro's policies and procedures. Let's go on, continue and go into the second quarter of policies and procedures. We're going to talk about subject 8, approved supplies, then go on to advertising and marketing materials, our standard operating procedures, our staffing procedures for your business, our admin services offered by our regional office, communication with us, and customer billing and collections. So let's get started. So let's talk about our approved supplies. Your franchise agreement includes certain standards for purchasing equipment and supplies that meet the specs, and it also includes purchasing equipment and supplies that meet our standards, whether you buy it through us or you can buy it on your own as long as it meets our specifications. So for example, our backpack vacuum, Pro Team Emerson is the company that we utilize for that. Our two cleaning chemicals right now are Ecolab and Spartan chemicals, although you can substitute for others as long as it's equivalent to our hospital grade disinfectants. And of course, our microfiber cloths, they need to be color coded. That's part of our presentation to our customers. Other than that, in terms of buckets and garbage cans and mops and things like that, we certainly have our standards with that, but those are more readily available. The equipment that JanPro recommends must comply with OSHA regulations. So we recommend that if you do purchase your own supplies, that you have quality cleaning equipment. You may want to maintain your equipment through our approved suppliers, or again, you can substitute. We need to approve that it is equivalent to what we are promising to our customers. Whether you're supplying it or we supply it on the chemicals, they all must have a safety data sheet, SDS, and be labeled accordingly. Any product removed from the manufacturer's container must be appropriately labeled so that every spray bottle that you use, if it's got a certain product in it, the safety data sheet must be adhered to that bottle, as well as any supplies you bring into your customer's business. As part of our inspection process, our office may periodically assist you with inspecting your equipment and chemicals to ensure that they meet brand standards. This is not just for us, our customers also inspect us. If there's a janitor closet on site, they may do an independent inspection and make sure that all of our equipment is as we promised and all of our bottles are labeled according to OSHA standards. If you don't abide by these procedures and processes, if we determine you violated our specifications for supplies for the safety of your customers and employees, we may exercise our right to take the following actions. We may levy a fee of $50. We will allow you 24 hours to correct the problem. However, if you do not, we may suspend your authority to operate until you've brought your supplies and equipment into compliance. If you repeat the offense, we may choose to transfer your customers and/or may choose not to offer you any additional business. We will not credit sales or marketing fees that you have paid or that are remaining on the accounts that are transferred due to repeated violations. Again, we're trying to build a brand, and within the brand we have to have certain standards. This is kind of things that you'll see on the final exam in terms of the fees that we could levy in the event that you do not follow our specifications. If you're going to do any advertising and marketing, all those materials that you might use as you're marketing your JanPro business must comply with our required approvals and specifications. So the logo, etc. So for business cards, flyers, letterhead, etc., all of those must be submitted to our regional office for approval prior to publishing. The logo that we utilize is trademarked, so any inadvertent use of the logo that's different than the trademark could jeopardize the JanPro name for not just our business, but every JanPro across the country. So it's very important that if you are going to do your own advertising, you adhere to our policies and procedures. All right, moving right along in the second section, subject 10, standard operating procedures. Your responsibilities. You are solely responsible for ensuring your cleaning services meet JanPro standards. You must devote enough time and effort to your business to ensure that all services, first and foremost, satisfy the customer. Second, follow the customer's cleaning schedule. Third, meet our JanPro standards. Again, we're building a brand. Whenever we have a new customer, you, along with our field service consultant, will schedule a walkthrough of the new customer's facility during normal business hours before you start servicing the account. We'll review your cleaning for all new customers during the first week to make sure that you meet JanPro standards. During that initial meeting with our customer, tour the facility, pick up keys, special instructions. If you arrive at the customer's business first, wait outside until our field service representative arrives. The attire, when you meet your current or prospective customer, remember this is a first opportunity to start building a relationship. So dress professionally. Recommend that you wear business casual for men or women, or wear your JanPro branded attire. You and or your employees' JanPro attire should include a JanPro identification badge. If any employee stops working for you, he or she must return the badge to you. Supervision, make sure that you personally supervise a new customer's cleaning service during the very first clean. After you've cleaned that customer for the first time, our policies and procedures want you to check in with the customer, visit or contact them the next morning after that initial clean. Inspect them we may inspect it within 24 hours. And during that first month, our recommendations and our policies are for that first week. Again, after the first cleaning, you contact the customer, inspect your employees if you do have employees. After the second week, inspect the premises, contact the customer, make sure that everything's okay, see if they have any additional needs. And then on that third week, call the customer to check in as well. We think by following this, you're going to build a relationship with that customer, hopefully head off any issues before they get too big, and build a relationship with them for a very long time. Once you are awarded or you look at a new customer, you're going to receive a few different documents. A copy of the contract, you're going to have an acceptance form, which will include the cleaning schedule for each new customer. Review these obviously before you begin service to make sure that you fully understand what those expectations are for the customer. Once you've accepted the customer, you should note when a customer needs additional communications and inspections to remain satisfied. Assuming they're a 5-day-a-week, 6-day-a-week customer, there should be some daily procedures. Make sure all your employees have arrived. Again, we do have JanHub, which we'll go over later, that your employees can use that to check in and check out. You should inspect continuously to make sure they've completed the tasks. Again, if you're doing the tasks, it's different according to this cleaning schedule. Weekly, inspect all weekly cleanings. So our scope of work has daily things, or each clean. We have weekly items and we have monthly items that we take care of. So you should make sure that all of those are being done. JanHub does have the ability to build these types of work orders so that you don't forget you're supposed to do something weekly and monthly, and then you can manage the process that way. The quarterly procedures that we recommend to ensure our high standards, you should meet at least every 6 months with your field service consultant. You may meet with them more often because of our inspection schedule, but you should schedule an appointment, bring any necessary information, be prepared to discuss anything, your goals, your performance for each customer, any complaint issues, inspection reports. You should have a very open relationship with the field service representative and consultant to make sure that, one, we're meeting your needs, and two, any issues that are coming up are being addressed together, and that we're keeping you, helping you keep on track for your goals. Staying in touch with your customers. Not to be too redundant, but we certainly recommend you call a new customer contact during the first week of service. And after that, we recommend you call or visit them as needed, but certainly monthly. And then you'll turn your monthly customer quality evaluations to JanPro by the 10th of the month. If any of your customer information changes, you need to notify the regional office immediately if any of the following change, where the customer's contact person changes, or the customer's emergency contact, or a phone number changes for the customer, alarm codes to enter or exit change, or even the days or hours are changing. If you know that information, call us at 504-443-3944. That's 504-443-3944, so we can make sure all the records are up to speed. A lot of this is just common sense, but our rules of conduct: you must not allow children, friends whom you do not employ, relatives, animals, or non-essential articles at a customer's facility. If you violate this standard, we'll send you a written warning, and you'll be charged a $50 fee. If a further violation occurs, you're going to lose the account. So it's just obvious common sense and courtesy. Obviously, no illegal activity, so don't go drinking in a customer's office. Polite behavior. The customer is quote unquote always right, so no cursing or foul language. Most of our customers, almost all of them, do have cameras in their offices, so you need to be very aware of that when you're cleaning, that they're seeing what you're doing, and then make sure you don't bring kids in or anyone that's not authorized to be in there cleaning. Again, common sense, but what's important here is if you don't follow those policies and procedures, we could charge you another $50, and you also could lose that account if you don't adhere to our standards of rules of conduct. Standards on bloodborne pathogens require that if you have employees, you must adopt and implement an exposure control plan. You can choose to use our sample, which you should review, or another one that meets OSHA standards and complies with federal law. We're going to go into this a little bit more in section 4 and when we get into our safety manual. But know that we have a requirement that if you are potentially going to be exposed to bloodborne pathogens, that we should have a plan for you to prepare you for that. Okay, subject 11, staffing procedures for your business. Your responsibilities: obey the law. If you're going to hire employees, our suggested employee files are the application with at least 3 references, complete and signed W-2 and W-4, I-9s with proper identification, birth certificate, social security card, passports, driver's license. You should definitely have a signed acknowledgement of drug and alcohol policies, safety policies, and your exposure control plan. We'll have copies for those for you to see. Employment agreement for supervisors and managers, and a non-compete, a confidentiality. Spouses that are not on the franchise agreement should not sign or should sign an employment agreement, and then it's up to you if you choose to have criminal background checks. These are samples of things that you should have on your employees. From a JANPRO standpoint, if you're going to have employees, make sure they're issued a JANPRO uniform and ID badge. Make sure we have the names in writing of any of your employees that provide cleaning services or have access to security systems or have left your employment. Uniforms and ID badges, make sure authorized JANPRO shirt displays the name. We suggest tan work pants. They should fit loosely. If they're going to wear shorts, it must reach to the mid-thigh, be neatly hemmed, and obviously closed-toe shoes. And a JANPRO identification name badge should be clearly visible. If you've got managers and supervisors, they must complete the JANPRO certification program if they're going to be out there responsible for the employees. And they must undergo a criminal background check and sign an agreement covering confidentiality, trade secrets, and non-competition. Send a copy to our regional office before they can begin working. Policies and procedures, subject 13, communication with your JANPRO regional office. For your customer's sake, we must be able to contact you promptly. So again, repeating what we said before, if you change your address, phone number, email address, you must report that change to us within 2 days of the change. Obviously, in this day and age, everyone's using smartphones to communicate, so you must keep a working charged cell phone with you during normal business hours. And what I would say on this is make sure that your voicemail is not full. We've encountered many franchise owners where we go to call them You want to leave a message and their voicemail is full. Penalty: if you fail to provide a means of communicating with us, you may be subject to a fee of $50, and we may suspend any new business offerings until you comply. We have to be able to get a hold of you, so voicemail, make sure it's cleared, make sure you respond promptly to us if we contact you. If there's an issue that comes up, we'll usually communicate by speaking directly with you. However, if a conversation may have consequences for either party, we'll keep a written record of it. We consider these records as a formal documentation that can be referred to in a case of dispute, and we'll keep those records permanently. So we'll call you, we may email you, text you, but if it's an issue, we're going to document it. If we receive mail addressed to you, we'll hold it for you to pick up. If you do not pick up your mail in a reasonable amount of time, we will mail it to you for a minimum administrative fee of $5. If postage costs more, we'll add that to any additional expense. We will fax your mail to you if you provide a fax number. Subject 14, customer billing and collections. Our regional office, as part of our overall support services, will invoice your customers monthly for your services and any supplies that your customers purchase through us. Customers are invoiced in advance for services provided during a given month. So if there are any changes during that month, you must inform us of those changes that may affect the customer's next month's billing before the end of the month. It could include, for example, address changes, cleaning frequency changes, days of the week, cleaning changes, etc. We'll mail the customer's invoice by the first of each month. We actually typically email it to them. Special services. You should submit other invoices throughout the month. They may cover supplies, special services, initial cleanings. If you provided any of those special services, turn them in, the signed customer authorizations, by the end of the month. Again, through JanHub, which we'll go over, I'll show you how you can invoice those special services via JanHub, as well as regular services. Customer billing and collections. Not all customers will pay on time. You should make sure you have enough working capital to fund your business for at least 60 days, kind of what we talked about earlier. Unless you have the assurance fee, we talked about that in the disclosure, and then you made your election when you signed the agreement. We'll help collect the money that your customers owe. If customers not paid on time, we may send the customer a past due statement. If necessary, we may hire a lawyer or collection company to collect the payment, but we will consult you, we're partners, before doing so. And although we'll help you collect past due amounts, ultimately, if you don't have the assurance fee, you're responsible for collecting accounts that are past due. We'll pay you according to our payment plan. But if we've paid you and the customer hasn't paid us and you do not have the assurance plan, then we would take that amount of money back that the customer never paid. So I think we covered that in the disclosure as well as the contract. Any questions, get a hold of me directly. Thank you. Okay, that finishes the second quarter. We've gone through approved supplies, advertising and marketing materials, standard operating procedures, staffing procedures for your business, admin services offered by our office, communication with our office, and customer collections.